Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're talking about, you can do it yourself. The reason I'm making this video, in the past couple months, I've had like two people, it haven't been that many, but like two people, I've ended up engaged in some sort of conversation. They've seen me on YouTube and they, we end up talking about usually visas, it seems like. And in this past couple of months, I've seen two people bring it up, this topic, and then I hadn't heard this for a long time, and it really made me almost kind of nostalgic the first time I heard this. But I remember being over in Phnom Penh working a case years ago. I want to say it's probably around 10 years ago. And talking to another guy in the context of U.S. immigration, and the back and forth was, well, this is what I do. I help a lot of people with visas, either to U.S. or Thailand. And then the response is sort of, well, I don't know why anybody would hire somebody. You can just do it yourself. Yeah, you can. I've never said you can't. I always find that response rather interesting because I'm not saying it's usually not put out there in a standoffish manner, but it's often put out there in a very sort of, I don't know if I'd call it brusque, but just kind of from the standpoint of as if I didn't know that was the case. They sort of say it like it's very revelatory, like the veil is lifted. Oh my God, people can do this. I am well aware people can do U.S. immigration matters for themselves. People do their own taxes. Some opt to hire a CPA. They just feel they're paying for the convenience, basically. They're paying to not have to do it. Totally get it. Immigration is somewhat similar. Now, there are things that immigration is a very narrow body of law, but it's very deep. And there are things that you can get hung up on in immigration that can be very problematic if you don't know what you're doing. But long story short, sure, you can do it yourself. Chris Rock once said you can drive a car with your feet. It doesn't make it a good idea. I don't think that's the case in every U.S. immigration case. I think there are cases that come along that are complex, very nuanced, and difficult to deal with that, you probably, there are certain kinds of cases, it's relatively limited, a limited subset of cases where I would say, no, an attorney absolutely has to do that, because quite frankly, only they're going to understand. And they got to be a pretty experienced one, because they need to be able to understand the code, they need to be able to understand how the Foreign Affairs Manual operates, and in a limited subset of cases, it's like a Gordian knot, and oftentimes only a legal professional is going to be able to cut through it. But the basic premise that you can do it yourself when it comes to immigration, to Thailand or the U.S. or whatever, or taxes or legal work, sometimes you can, and in many cases you can. So when I hear that, I'm always kind of fascinated by, again, the way it's delivered as if it's kind of this revelatory thing. No, I'm aware that things can be done DIY.